we started with a program called animation, and then we extended that with a little if statement there to make it so when it goes off the screen it pops over to the other side. Now you could probably save that as a spin-off now, which would be another copy of that, and then continue with some other things. I'm not going to make another spin-off of this for myself because I have lots of sample programs that I've made, and you definitely should keep track of every little different thing that you learn and make as many different programs as you want. Now you can start with a new program anytime you want from scratch, right? Just remember, if I make a bunch of changes here and then I hit save, I'm going to lose my first animation program, right? Unless that's what I want to do. Like if I decide I want to make changes to animation, you know. But this time, I figure we'll do an exercise where instead of having it go off the screen and pop back to this side, why don't we make it where it will bounce off the wall instead, right? Okay, so in the earlier video, I said, why don't you try and see if you can make it so instead of it starting over here and going that way, maybe you could start over here and make it go that way. If you didn't try that, you could always pause the video now and attempt to do that again. But I'm going to show you a little bit different way to do it, probably than the obvious way. Here, I'm updating the value of ball x by putting adding a numerical value to it, right? But we're going to do that a little bit differently here this time. Up at the top here, I'm going to declare a new variable called speed, and I'm going to assign a value to that. And then I'm going to take the variable, copy that, and replace the number that I'm adding in there now. So now by updating the variable up here, I update the speed of the ball. Okay. So now in my if statement, what I want to do is when it hits the wall over here, I want the value of speed to become negative. And then I'll be adding a negative value to my variable. So here I'm going to just simply say, instead of ball x plus equals 20, now I can just say speed equals negative speed, and it will reverse direction. I will hit restart again. Okay, but we still have the initial values where it goes completely off screen, right? What we want this time is to just touch the wall so it looks like it's bouncing off of it, right? Okay, now sometimes it's kind of hard to figure out where everything, what to do with your programming when things are moving around, so you can always just put some comments in front of the part of your code that is updating everything. You see, and now it'll just sit there and let you figure things out. Okay, now I already know the answer to this, you know, but one quick way, you can just kind of scroll on over there and double check, where exactly does it bump? Oh, 390, right? So I know here greater than or equal to 390 works fine, right? And then now, let me start back at the beginning and update my speed again, and it should look more like it's bouncing off the wall. You see. Now we want to do the same thing in the other direction. Okay. One way to do that might be just to copy this entire line of code and then paste that. And then here, instead of greater than or equal to, we can say less than or equal to. And it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 0. Let's just restart that for a moment and see that it kind of goes into the wall a little, you know, so the same thing. What we know is that the ball is 20 in width, so right halfway, I mean, if it was at 0, that would be midway of the ball. It would be stuck right in the wall there, right? So if we want it halfway out, that would be 10, right? So we can just say 10. here. And now it's bouncing back and forth off of both walls. Okay, but here we're kind of using some redundant code. Both of these lines of code are doing the same thing. So a way to kind of integrate that would be to take these two if statements here, if this and if that, and kind of turn them into one if statement. So I could say that if, I'm going to copy this whole bit of code in here, I could say if this, and I'm just going to pencil in or that, but it's not actually or. The symbol that we use is these two upright symbols there, and that is the symbol for an or statement. So now I no longer need this. Now if it's greater than or equal to 390 or less than or equal to 10, reverse. Make whatever this happens to be value negative. So here, if it's 2, it's going to become negative 2. And now if it's negative 2, it's going to be 2. Because the negative of negative 2 is 2. Okay? Kind of just a cool way to do that with one speed. And then again here now, by changing this speed, it's going to bounce off of the wall equally with the same amount of speed in both directions. I don't have to go down and update a bunch of different lines of code, and I've simplified it. Okay, so then you can make a spin-off of that called bouncing off the walls, or as you wish. And then we'll show you some more.